Welcome to Vlogo Uncovered, where reality meets rumor, and every story has a shadow. What is spectacle? What is performance? When does entertainment demand sacrifice? On September 1st, 2025, a streamer launched something audacious. A month-long live stream, a 1 million subscriber goal, and a promise so bold it felt like a proclamation. If you help me reach 1 million, I'll shave my hair live. By the time Mafiathon 3 ended, Cenat had broken Twitch records. But he also left behind echoes, questions about identity, authenticity, power, and what we're willing to believe when we watch. Tonight, Vlogo Uncovered dives into Mafiathon 3. The hype, the rituals, the chaos, and the uncomfortable truth behind the most watched subathon in history. Because in the world of streaming, nothing is ever just entertainment. It all began with a vision. Cenat wasn't just a streamer anymore. He had become a phenomenon, a brand, a movement, a one-man empire. His first 2 subathons had rewritten the rules of engagement. But this one, Mafiathon 3, was meant to be the final chapter. The event that would stamp his name permanently into internet history. He teased it like a cinematic blockbuster. A trailer dropped weeks before, featuring fast cuts, flashing lights, celebrities, and a thundering voiceover. Fans called it the Super Bowl of Twitch. And when launch day finally came, September 1st, 2025, it wasn't just a live stream. It was a production. Thousands tuned in within seconds. The screen filled with neon lights, booming music, and the unmistakable chaos that only Cenat could deliver. Then the surprises began. Kim Kardashian showed up on day 1. Snoop Dogg dropped in the next. Ray J barged into a shower scene wearing nothing but a Speedo. The whole internet went wild. Each celebrity appearance sent Twitch into a meltdown. Every minute was viral gold. But behind the laughter, there was tension. The pressure to keep it going. To keep it bigger, to keep it wilder. Every new subscriber added time to the stream, meaning the more people joined, the longer Kai was trapped inside the very spectacle he'd built. Fans called it entertainment, but what was really happening felt more like a ritual. Kai promised, if he hit 1 million active subs, he'd let LeBron James shave his head live on stream. A symbolic gesture, he said. But viewers sensed something deeper. In many cultures, shaving your head represents transformation, a loss of ego, a rebirth, a surrender. But here, it was being broadcast to millions, monetized second by second. Over the weeks, the Mafiathon became a living, breathing social experiment. Viewers became investors, fans became worshippers. Each dollar, each sub, felt like a piece of ownership over the streamer himself. But as the days passed, the cracks began to show. People questioned whether the school project Kai claimed he was funding in Nigeria was actually happening. Others pointed out Twitch's blatant favoritism, how Mafiathon seemed plastered all over the front page, while smaller creators barely got noticed. And then came the chaos. A feud broke out live on stream between 2 guests. Insults were thrown, slurs were used, and the chat exploded into a civil war. Kai had to pause everything just to cool the fire. The moment was ugly, raw, and real. But it made one thing clear. This was no longer just a stream. It was a pressure cooker. By the second week, Mafiathon was unstoppable. The numbers were climbing faster than ever. 100,000 subs, then 200,000. Then 300,000. The camera caught Kai's exhaustion. Dark circles, heavy eyes. But he smiled anyway. Because every subscriber meant another step toward the record. Then the donations started rolling in from celebrities. Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, Ice Cube, the Jonas Brothers. Everyone wanted a piece of the story. It wasn't just Twitch anymore. It was culture. But with every high came another question. Why does this feel so familiar? We've seen it before. In reality TV, in cults of personality, in the entertainment industry's darkest corners. Moments that blur the line between performance and devotion. When Britney Spears shaved her head in 2007, people called it a breakdown. But now, on Twitch, a shaved head had become a badge of victory, a thank you to the fans. The symbolism had flipped. By week 3, Mafiathon had turned into something no one could control. Fans stayed awake for days to watch. Twitter was filled with countdowns, memes, and theories. And then, at last, the moment came. Cenat hit 1 million subscribers. The chat froze, then exploded. He stood before the cameras. His friends gathered around him. LeBron James held the Clippers, smiling. The music faded. The first buzz echoed through the mic. Hair fell slowly to the floor, and for a brief second, the entire internet went silent. Some people screamed in joy. Others whispered that it felt wrong, like they were watching something sacred being desecrated. Because even though it was just hair, it felt like more. Hair is identity, power, freedom. In ancient cultures, warriors shaved their heads to prepare for war. Monks shaved theirs to surrender ego. And here, in 2025, a streamer shaved his to celebrate the worship of fame. In the aftermath, debates raged across social media. Was it a genius marketing stunt? Or proof that we all watch anything if it's wrapped in drama and high production value? Some fans celebrated it as the biggest Twitch event ever. Others said it symbolized everything wrong with internet fame. Even fellow creators weighed in, calling it the death of authenticity. Because what once started as connection, streamer and audience, had turned into performance and control. Kai wasn't just being watched anymore. He was being owned. And when the stream finally ended, when the lights dimmed and the cameras stopped, the silence that followed felt heavier than the applause. In the weeks after, the conversation shifted. People drew comparisons between Mafiathon and the darker side of viral entertainment. From the Logan Paul scandal in Japan's Suicide Forest to FouseyTube's mental breakdown on camera, every generation of creators seems to reach that same breaking point, when spectacle consumes the person behind it. Because the internet doesn't just watch, it feeds, it demands, and once you give it your soul, it rarely gives it back. Mafiathon 3 became the new case study of modern worship. How communities turn creators into gods, and gods back into content. When the dust settled, Kai returned, clean-shaven, exhausted, proud. He thanked his fans. He smiled. But behind that smile, there was something in his eyes. A weight only those who've been watched non-stop for 30 days can understand. Because streaming isn't just creation anymore. It's consumption. And in a world that runs on clicks, even sacrifice can be monetized. Spectacle demands surrender. And we, the audience, are always hungry for the next one. Because sometimes the stories we watch reveal more about us than we realize. If this one kept you thinking, hit subscribe. There's always another secret waiting to be told.